I never thought my wedding day would end with me playing a recording that would destroy my future mother-in-law's reputation in front of 200 guests. But here we are. And honestly, I'd do it again. My name is Sophie, and this is the story of how I went from being the perfect, compliant bride-to-be to the woman who burned down her own wedding to expose the truth. It started 8 months before the wedding. I'd been with Marcus for 3 years. He was everything I'd ever wanted. Kind, supportive, funny, and completely devoted to me. We met at a coffee shop where I'd accidentally spilled an entire latte on his laptop. He laughed it off, asked for my number to send me the repair bill as a joke, and we'd been inseparable ever since. There was just one problem. His mother, Patricia. Now, I know what you're thinking. Every bride complains about their mother-in-law, right? This is like the oldest story in the book. The evil mother-in-law who thinks no one is good enough for her precious son. But this wasn't that. This was so much worse. Patricia was sophisticated, elegant, always perfectly dressed, always saying the right thing in public. She had this way of smiling at you while absolutely destroying you with her words. And the thing was, she was so subtle about it that if you tried to explain it to someone, you sounded paranoid. The first time I met her, she looked me up and down and said, "Oh, Marcus, she's so accessible." How refreshing. Accessible. Like I was a community pool. Marcus didn't catch it. He just thought his mom was being nice. And that was the pattern. Every single interaction, Patricia would slip in these little daggers, always when Marcus wasn't paying attention or in a way that could be interpreted as a compliment if you squinted hard enough. "Sophie, you're so brave for wearing that color with your skin tone. I love how you don't care what people think about your career choice. It's wonderful that Marcus loves you for your personality." Each comment was like a paper cut. Small enough to dismiss, but they added up. And when I tried to talk to Marcus about it, he'd get defensive. Patricia was his mom. She'd raised him alone after his dad died when he was 10. She'd sacrificed everything for him. She couldn't possibly mean anything bad by her comments. So I swallowed it. I smiled. I played the perfect future daughter-in-law. Because I loved Marcus, and I wasn't going to let his mother come between us. Then we got engaged. Marcus proposed on a beach in Hawaii. It was perfect and private and everything I'd dreamed of. We called our families right after, both of us giddy with excitement. My parents cried happy tears. My friends screamed with joy. Patricia's response? Well, I suppose it was inevitable. "When are you thinking? Please tell me you're not planning anything rushed. People will talk." That should have been my first real warning. The next few months were a blur of wedding planning. And Patricia inserted herself into every single decision. She had opinions about the venue. Too modern. The flowers. Too casual. My dress. Too revealing. The guest list. Too many of my people, not enough of Marcus's important connections. But here's where it got really weird. About 5 months before the wedding, I started noticing Patricia spending a lot of time on her phone. She'd excuse herself from dress fittings and venue tours to take calls. She was being secretive, which wasn't like her. Patricia loved being the center of attention. One day, we were at a bridal boutique, and Patricia stepped out to take another mysterious call. The boutique owner, this sweet older woman named Gloria, gave me this look. "Honey," she said carefully, "I don't mean to overstep, but I've been doing this for 30 years. I've seen a lot of mothers and mothers-in-law come through here. That woman is up to something." I laughed it off, but Gloria's words stuck with me. That night, I mentioned Patricia's weird behavior to my best friend, Jenna. Jenna had never liked Patricia. She said Patricia had dead eyes and a smile like a shark. "You need to find out what she's doing," Jenna said firmly. "My gut says it's about you." I told her she was being paranoid. But the thing about your best friend is that they know you better than you know yourself sometimes. And Jenna knew I was already suspicious. It was pure accident that I found out the truth. I was at Marcus's apartment, and he was in the shower. His iPad was on the coffee table, and it pinged with a text message. The screen lit up, and I glanced at it without thinking. It was from his mom. "Lunch with Jay went well. She's definitely still interested. I think we can work with this." "Jay? Who is Jay?" My heart started pounding. I knew I shouldn't look. I knew it was a violation of privacy. but something in my gut screamed at me to check. I opened the iPad. Marcus and I knew each other's passwords. We had nothing to hide from each other. Or so I thought. I went to Patricia's message thread with Marcus. And I started scrolling. What I found made my blood run cold. Messages going back 3 months. Patricia had been meeting with someone named Jessica. And from context, I pieced together who Jessica was. Marcus's ex-girlfriend. The one he dated for 2 years in college. The one he'd told me he'd broken up with because they wanted different things. The one Patricia had absolutely adored. The messages were careful. Patricia was smart. She never outright said anything damning. But the implications were clear. Had coffee with Jessica today. She's doing so well. She asked about you. I think she's finally over that painful breakup. Jessica mentioned she's open to reconnecting as friends. I gave her your new number. Hope that's okay. Lunch with Jessica. She's matured so much. I told her about the wedding. She seems surprised you're getting married so quickly. And Marcus's responses were innocent. Polite. He clearly had no idea what his mother was doing. That's nice, Mom. Tell her I said hi. Sure, she can have my number. It would be good to catch up as friends. Yeah, Sophie and I are excited. It feels right. But then I found the separate thread. Patricia and Jessica. And this was where it all came out. He seems happy, but I don't think he's thought this through. Sophie is sweet, but she's not the right fit for our family. I've been planting seeds. Reminding him of all the good times you two had. The trips we took together, the holidays. How well you fit into our family. Don't worry. I'm not pushing too hard. Just gentle reminders. If we're patient, he'll realize he's making a mistake. The wedding is in 3 months. We don't have much time. I need you to be more aggressive. Reach out to him directly. I sat there, staring at the iPad, feeling like the floor had disappeared beneath me. Marcus's mother was actively trying to sabotage our wedding. She was conspiring with his ex-girlfriend to break us up. The bathroom door opened, and Marcus came out, toweling his hair. He saw my face and immediately knew something was wrong. Babe? What happened? I couldn't speak. I just handed him the iPad. I watched his face as he read. Confusion first, then shock, then anger. His face went red, and his hands started shaking. What the hell? He whispered. What the actual hell? He immediately called his mother. I listened to his side of the conversation, watched him pace back and forth across his living room. Mom, did you seriously think I wouldn't find out? How could you do this? Patricia's voice came through the phone, faint but audible. She was crying, playing the victim. I'm just looking out for you, sweetheart. I love you. I want you to be happy. Sophie is lovely, but Jessica understood our family. She understood you. I'm just worried you're rushing into this. I'm not rushing into anything. I love Sophie. We've been together for 3 years. But darling, 3 years isn't that long. You and Jessica were together for 2 years, and you were so young. Now you're older, more mature. Don't you think you owe it to yourself to at least consider whether you're making the right choice? Marcus looked at me, and I saw the pain in his eyes. This was his mother. The woman who'd raised him, sacrificed for him, been his only parent for most of his life. Mom, I'm marrying Sophie. That's final. And I need you to stop contacting Jessica. This is completely inappropriate. I understand you're upset, but I'm still your mother. I have a right to voice my concerns. Voice your concerns to me, not to my ex behind my back. The conversation went on for another 10 minutes. Patricia cried. She apologized. She said she was just scared of losing him, that she'd made a mistake, that she'd never contact Jessica again. And Marcus, because he loved his mother, believed her. I wanted to believe her too. But something in my gut told me this wasn't over. She promised, Marcus said after he hung up. He looked exhausted. She swore she'd stop. She knows she crossed a line. I nodded, but I didn't feel reassured. I felt like I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. And drop it did. 2 weeks later, Marcus came home from a business dinner looking troubled. He sat down next to me on the couch and took my hand. So, something weird happened tonight, he said. Jessica showed up at the restaurant. My stomach dropped. What? She said she was having dinner with a friend and saw me. She came over to say hi. It was awkward as hell. Did you talk to her? For like 2 minutes. Just polite small talk. I mentioned the wedding, and she got this weird look on her face. Then she said something strange. What did she say? Marcus hesitated. She said, "Are you sure about this? Your mom told me you've been having doubts." The room went silent. I told her I have no idea what she's talking about, Marcus continued. And that my mom shouldn't have said that because it's not true. Jessica apologized and left. But Sophie, I swear I never told my mom I had doubts. Because I don't have doubts. I know you don't, I said quietly. But your mom is still playing games. Marcus looked sick. I'll talk to her again. No, I said. A plan was forming in my mind. A crazy, possibly stupid plan. But I was done being the understanding, forgiving future daughter-in-law. Don't talk to her yet. I want to see how far she'll go. What do you mean? I mean, your mom is clearly not done trying to break us up. She promised she'd stop, but she's still feeding Jessica lies. So let's see what else she's planning. Sophie, I don't want you to have to deal with this. I'm already dealing with it. But now I'm going to deal with it on my terms. That night, I made a decision. I was going to document everything. Every interaction with Patricia, every suspicious thing she did, every lie she told. I was going to gather evidence. And if she tried to ruin my wedding, I was going to be ready. I started carrying my phone everywhere, recording app at the ready. I told Jenna what was happening, and she was immediately on board. Finally, she said. Finally, you're going to stand up to that witch. Over the next few weeks, I caught Patricia in several lies. She told Marcus I'd been rude to her on the phone. I had the call recording proving I'd been nothing but polite. She told the wedding planner I wanted to change the flower arrangements. I had texts showing I'd approved them weeks ago. She told Marcus's aunt that I'd excluded her from the bridal shower. I had the invitation list with her name on it. Every lie I documented. Every manipulation I recorded. Marcus was devastated. Watching him realize what his mother really was? That was the hardest part. He'd call her out, she'd cry and apologize, and then she'd do something else. Why is she doing this? He asked me one night. We were lying in bed, and I could hear the pain in his voice. Because she doesn't want to lose you, I said gently. And she thinks if she can't have you all to herself, she'd rather you be with someone she can control. Jessica would have bent over backward for your mom's approval. I won't. You shouldn't have to. No, I shouldn't. But here we are. 3 weeks before the wedding, things escalated. I got a call from our venue. There was a problem with our booking. Someone had called claiming to be me and had tried to cancel the entire event. My heart stopped. What? Who called? The woman said she was Sophie Chin, the bride. She said there had been a family emergency and you needed to cancel. But our policy requires written confirmation, so we didn't process it. We wanted to check with you first. I absolutely did not call to cancel. Did you get a phone number? They gave me the number. I didn't recognize it, but I had a pretty good idea who it belonged to. I called it. A woman answered. Hello. Jessica. There was a pause. Who is this? This is Sophie. Marcus's fiancé. The woman whose wedding you just tried to cancel. I don't know what you're talking about. Really? Because the venue just called me about a cancellation attempt from this number. You impersonated me. That's actually illegal, by the way. Jessica's voice turned cold. Look, I'm just trying to help Marcus. He's making a mistake, and he's too stubborn to see it. Patricia is worried sick about him. Patricia put you up to this. Patricia loves her son. She wants what's best for him. And you think that's you? I know Marcus better than you ever will. We have history. We have a connection. You're just a phase. I was shaking with anger. Marcus and I are getting married in 3 weeks. You need to stay away from him, stay away from our wedding, and tell Patricia this stops now. Or what? Or you'll find out. I hung up and immediately called Marcus. Then I called the venue back and told them to flag our account. No changes unless I appeared in person with ID. Then I called every vendor we'd hired and did the same thing. Patricia had declared war. And I was going to finish it. The final straw came 1 week before the wedding. Marcus and I were at the rehearsal dinner venue, doing a walkthrough. Patricia was supposed to meet us there. She was late, which was unusual. Patricia prided herself on punctuality. When she finally arrived, she wasn't alone. Jessica was with her. Marcus saw them and his face went white. Mom, what the hell? Patricia had the audacity to look serene. Marcus, sweetheart, we need to talk. Jessica and I have something important to tell you. No, Marcus said firmly. Whatever you're about to say, I don't want to hear it. Jessica needs to leave. Now. Marcus, please, Jessica said, stepping forward. Just hear us out. I still love you. I never stopped loving you. And your mom thinks. I don't care what my mom thinks. Marcus's voice echoed in the empty venue. We broke up 7 years ago, Jessica. 7 years. I've moved on. I'm in love with Sophie. We're getting married in 1 week. But are you happy? Patricia's voice was gentle, manipulative. Really happy? Or are you just comfortable? Sophie is nice, but is she really the partner you need? I'd been standing there, silent, letting Marcus handle it. But that was it. That was the moment I was done being silent. Patricia, I said, my voice cold. I need you to listen very carefully. You have spent the last 8 months trying to sabotage this wedding. You've lied to Marcus. You've conspired with his ex. You've manipulated situations. And you've done it all while pretending to be supportive. I don't know what you're talking about, Patricia said, but her eyes betrayed her. Yes, you do. And I have proof. I pulled out my phone and started playing recordings. Patricia telling the florist I wanted different flowers. Patricia telling Marcus's and I didn't want her at the wedding. Patricia on the phone with Jessica, planning their strategy. With each recording, Patricia's face lost more color. Sophie, where did you get these? Marcus asked, stunned. I've been recording everything for the last 2 months. Every phone call, every conversation. Because I knew she wouldn't stop. Patricia's mask finally cracked. You had no right. I had every right to protect myself and my relationship. You've been trying to destroy us. Jessica backed toward the door. I should go. Yeah, you should, I said. And if you contact Marcus again, I'll file a restraining order. She left. Marcus was staring at his mother like he'd never seen her before. Mom, he said quietly. How could you? Patricia's eyes filled with tears. I'm your mother. I just want what's best for you. What's best for me is Sophie. And if you can't accept that, then maybe you shouldn't come to the wedding. Patricia gasped. You can't mean that. I do. Sophie is going to be my wife. That means she comes first. Not you. If you can't respect that, respect her, then we have nothing else to talk about. It was the first time I'd ever heard Marcus choose me over his mother so definitively. And I loved him even more for it. Patricia left, crying. Marcus held me while I shook with adrenaline. I'm so sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry I didn't see it sooner. It's not your fault. She's your mom. You wanted to believe the best of her. Are you still going to marry me? After all this. I pulled back and looked at him. Marcus, I'm not marrying your mother. I'm marrying you. And yes, absolutely yes. That night, Marcus and I talked for hours. We decided to give Patricia one more chance. Not for her sake, but because Marcus needed to know he'd tried everything before cutting his mother out of his life. He called her the next day and laid out boundaries. She could come to the wedding, but she had to apologize to me. A real apology. And she had to promise no more interference. Patricia agreed. She came to our apartment, and with tears streaming down her face, she apologized. I was scared, she said. Scared of losing my son. He's all I have. And I handled it terribly. Sophie, I'm sorry. Truly sorry. It seemed genuine. But I didn't trust it. Call it intuition. I kept the recordings. Just in case. The wedding day arrived. It was beautiful. Fall in New England, the leaves turning gold and red, the air crisp and perfect. Our venue was this gorgeous historic mansion with gardens overlooking a lake. I was in the bridal suite with Jenna and my bridesmaids, getting ready. My dress was stunning. Lace and silk, fitted bodice, flowing skirt. I felt like a princess. Everything was going perfectly. Too perfectly. Jenna noticed it first. Hey, has anyone seen Patricia? She'd been there earlier, watching me get my hair and makeup done. She'd been pleasant, complimentary even. But now she was gone. Maybe she's just checking on things, one of my bridesmaids offered. But that feeling in my gut was back. The one that had warned me about Patricia from the start. Jenna, can you go find her? Just make sure everything's okay. Jenna left and came back 5 minutes later, her face pale. Okay, don't freak out, but Patricia is in the groom's suite. With Jessica. My blood ran cold. What? I heard them through the door. Patricia snuck Jessica into the venue. They're talking to Marcus right now. I didn't think. I just moved. I ran out of the bridal suite, still in my wedding dress, my bridesmaids scrambling after me. I could hear Jenna calling my name, but I didn't stop. I burst into the groom's suite without knocking. Marcus was standing in the center of the room in his tuxedo, looking shell-shocked. Patricia and Jessica were both there, and Jessica was holding Marcus's hands. Everyone froze when I entered. What the hell is going on? I demanded. Marcus pulled his hands away from Jessica. Sophie, this isn't. She was just about to convince him to call off the wedding, Patricia said calmly. Before he makes the biggest mistake of his life. The audacity. The sheer audacity of this woman. Sophie, I told them to leave, Marcus said quickly. I was just about to call security. Marcus, please, Jessica pleaded. Just think about this. We were so good together. We can be again. Get out, I said, my voice shaking. Both of you. Get out right now. This is my son's wedding, Patricia said. You can't throw me out. Something inside me snapped. I was done. Done playing nice, done being understanding, done letting this woman terrorize me on what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. You know what? No. You don't get to do this. Not today. I pulled out my phone. Thank God I'd kept it in the hidden pocket of my dress. I'd transferred all my recordings to it, just in case. What are you doing? Patricia asked nervously. Giving you exactly what you deserve. I walked out of the groom's suite, down the hallway, and straight to the ceremony space. Guests were already seated, waiting for the wedding to start. 200 people. Friends, family, colleagues. Everyone we loved. I walked up to the front where the DJ was set up and took the microphone. Hi everyone, I said, my voice amplified across the room. I'm Sophie, the bride. And before we start this wedding, there's something you all need to hear. Marcus had followed me out. Sophie, what are you doing? The right thing. I connected my phone to the DJ's speaker system. And I started playing the recordings. Patricia's voice filled the room. Sophie is sweet, but she's not the right fit for our family. Then Jessica. We just need to be patient. He'll realize he's making a mistake. Patricia again. I've been reminding him of all the good times you two had. If we're careful, he'll start to doubt. The room was dead silent. Every eye was on Patricia, who had emerged from the hallway with Jessica, both of them looking horrified. I played more. The conversation about canceling the venue. Patricia lying to vendors. Patricia telling Jessica that Marcus had doubts he'd never expressed. Then I played the final recording. From earlier that morning. I'd been recording on a second phone in the groom's suite, hidden in my bouquet that I delivered there earlier. Patricia's voice, Jessica, this is our last chance. Tell him you're still in love with him. Cry if you have to. Make him remember what you had. He can't marry Sophie. She'll take him away from me completely. Jessica, what if he says no? What if he chooses her anyway? Patricia, then we'll have tried. But I don't think he will. I'm his mother. He'll listen to me. The recording ended. The silence in the room was deafening. Patricia's face was bright red. You had no right to record me. That's illegal. Actually, I said calmly, this is a one-party consent state. I had every right. And everyone here has the right to know exactly what kind of person you are. Marcus was staring at his mother with an expression I'd never seen before. Betrayal. Hurt. And finally, clarity. Mom, he said quietly. You need to leave. Right now. Marcus, sweetheart, she manipulated you. She set me up. You set yourself up. His voice cracked. Every word on those recordings came from your mouth. You've been lying to me for months. You brought my ex to my wedding. My wedding, Mom. How could you? Patricia started crying. I'm your mother. I love you. No, Marcus said firmly. If you loved me, you would want me to be happy. But this was never about me, was it? It was about you. About control. About not wanting to let go. He turned to the guests. I'm sorry you all had to witness this. But I need to be clear. Patricia is no longer welcome at this wedding. Or in our lives. Security, please escort her and Jessica out. Two security guards stepped forward. Patricia sobbed as they led her toward the exit. She looked back at Marcus, but he didn't meet her eyes. Jessica followed, her head down. The room remained silent. I suddenly felt very exposed, standing there in my wedding dress, in front of everyone we knew, after having just blown up my own wedding. Then my dad stood up. He started clapping. One by one, the guests joined him. The entire room erupted in applause. My mom was crying. Jenna was cheering. Marcus's best man yelled, "That's my girl." Marcus came up to me and took the microphone. So, that happened. And honestly, I'm glad it did. Because everyone here should know that I'm marrying the strongest, bravest, most incredible woman I've ever met. Sophie didn't deserve any of what my mother put her through. But she handled it with grace and patience until she couldn't anymore. And I love her even more for standing up for herself. For us. He turned to me. I'm sorry. For all of it. But I promise you, from this day forward, you come first. Always. I was crying. Happy tears, angry tears, relieved tears, all mixed together. So, Marcus said to the crowd, if everyone's still up for it, we have a wedding to get to. The room cheered again. We got married. Right there, in front of everyone who mattered, without the two people who'd tried to destroy us. And it was perfect. The ceremony was beautiful. I cried through my vows. Marcus cried through his. Our officiant, bless her, improvised a line about overcoming obstacles that made everyone laugh. The reception was incredible. People kept coming up to us, telling us how proud they were, how impressed they were with how we'd handled everything. Marcus's aunt, who'd never liked Patricia, gave me the biggest hug and whispered, "Thank you for freeing my nephew." But the best moment? The best moment came during our first dance. Marcus held me close and whispered in my ear, "Thank you." For what? For not giving up on us. I wouldn't have blamed you if you'd walked away. I love you, I said simply. That's not something I give up on easily. I love you too. And Sophie? I'm done. With my mom, I mean. I can't have her in our lives. Not after this. Marcus, she's your mother. You don't have to. I do. I've spent my whole life making excuses for her, trying to keep the peace. But she doesn't want peace. She wants control. And I choose you. I choose us. I choose the family we're going to build together. We swayed to the music, and I felt lighter than I had in months. It was over. The drama, the manipulation, the constant stress. It was finally over. The wedding video went viral, by the way. Someone recorded the whole confrontation and posted it online. Within a week, it had 50 million views. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. This bride is a queen for standing up for herself. That mother-in-law got exactly what she deserved. The way he backed her up? That's a real man. Patricia tried to do damage control. She posted on Facebook about being unfairly attacked, about being a victim of a vindictive daughter-in-law. But too many people had been at the wedding. Too many people had heard the recordings. Her friends started distancing themselves. Jessica deleted all her social media. Marcus and I went on our honeymoon to Italy. 2 weeks of pasta, wine, and no family drama. It was heaven. When we came back, there were dozens of messages from Patricia. Angry ones, sad ones, manipulative ones. Marcus blocked her number. His aunt told us Patricia was in therapy, claiming to be traumatized by our public humiliation of her. We didn't respond. Here's the thing about toxic people. They don't think they're toxic. Patricia genuinely believed she was the victim in all this. She believed she was just a loving mother trying to protect her son. She couldn't see that her love was suffocating, controlling, destructive. And I realized I couldn't change that. Neither could Marcus. All we could do was protect ourselves and the life we wanted to build. It's been 6 months since the wedding. Marcus and I are happy. Really happy. We bought a house. We adopted a dog. We're talking about starting a family in a couple of years. Patricia sends cards sometimes. Birthday cards, holiday cards. Marcus doesn't open them. His aunt tells us Patricia asks about him constantly, claims she's changed, wants another chance. Maybe she has changed. Maybe therapy helped. But the trust is broken. The damage is done. And we're not obligated to give her another opportunity to hurt us. Sometimes people ask Marcus if he regrets cutting off his mom. If he feels guilty. He always says the same thing. I feel guilty that I didn't protect Sophie sooner. But I don't regret choosing my wife over my mother's manipulation. That's not something I should feel guilty about. And he's right. I think about Gloria sometimes. The bridal boutique owner who warned me that Patricia was up to something. I sent her a thank you card after the wedding, along with a photo of us. She wrote back saying she'd been in the business long enough to spot a troublemaker, and she was glad I'd listened to my instincts. Instincts matter. That gut feeling that something's wrong? It's usually right. I ignored mine for months because I wanted to be the understanding girlfriend, the patient fiancé. I wanted Marcus's mother to like me. I wanted to keep the peace. But peace at what cost? My dignity? My self-respect? My relationship? Some people aren't interested in peace. They're interested in winning. And you can't have a healthy relationship with someone who sees you as an opponent. So yeah, I played those recordings at my wedding. I exposed Patricia in front of everyone we knew. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Because the alternative was spending the rest of my life walking on eggshells, managing Patricia's feelings, watching her slowly poison my marriage from the inside. I chose differently. I chose myself. I chose my marriage. I chose honesty over politeness. And you know what? I'm sleeping just fine at night. If you're dealing with someone like Patricia, someone who smiles while sabotaging you, someone who plays victim while being the villain, here's my advice. Document everything. Trust your instincts. Set boundaries and enforce them. And don't be afraid to burn it all down if that's what it takes to protect yourself. People will judge you. They'll say you overreacted, that you should have handled it privately, that you should have been the bigger person. But those people aren't living your life. They're not dealing with the constant stress, the gaslighting, the manipulation. You are. And you deserve better. Marcus and I are building a beautiful life together. No drama. No toxic family members inserting themselves where they don't belong. Just us, our dog, and the future we're creating. Patricia wanted to be the center of Marcus's life forever. Instead, she's not in his life at all. That's not my fault. It's the consequence of her choices. Every action has consequences. Every lie eventually surfaces. Every manipulation eventually backfires. Patricia thought she could control the narrative. But in the end, the truth spoke louder than any of her carefully crafted lies. So yeah, I played those recordings at my wedding. And it was the best decision I ever made. Well, second best. The best decision was saying yes when Marcus proposed in the first place. Everything else was just protecting the decision. And I'd do it all over again. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you'd like to hear more family twists and emotional journeys, don't forget to subscribe.